Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, Corinne Lafont, broadcasting to you from Trinidad and Tobago on Between the Lines.
Mm.
Here we are again. Yes, it's a beautiful day. It was actually raining a bit a while ago, so it actually raised the heat here in the Caribbean. Oh my goodness. But I'm enjoying it. I'm not complaining. I am thankful. And I always start my show off being extremely thankful for everything, everything. There's no end to me being thankful. I go to bed, I fall asleep saying thank you. I wake up saying thank you. Throughout the day, I'm saying thank you. And, I really do this to encourage other persons to be grateful for what you have and not focus on what you don't have, because what you focus on, you attract more of. So if you focus on what you don't have, you're going to attract more of that. If you focus on what you do have, believe me, you're going to attract more of what you have and much more than you didn't anticipate. So it's a beautiful day here. And I want to say a nice, warm welcome to Dave Blanchard, who you're seeing on the screen. Yeah, let me tell you, he's waving. Let me tell you a quick bit about him and what we're going to be talking about today. I'm quite interested in what we're going to be talking about today, believe it or not. So Dave Blanchard, he's the CEO of the Og Mandino Leadership Institute. I'm sure you've probably heard of that as a very popular name. If you haven't, please do the research. So he's the CEO of the Og Mandino Leadership Institute. Through Dave's years of work with entrepreneurs, he has assisted in creating the Habit Finder. Interesting. A proprietary application of science and mathematics, measuring with laser accuracy a person's habits of thinking. Really now. Over 100,000 entrepreneurs have taken the Habit Finder, except me. I'll be the 100,001. Have taken
Good.
the Habit Finder assessment. Dave has personally debriefed over 6,500 of these profiles and coached over 4,000 clients. It is fair to say Dave knows more about how people think and the impact it's having on their lives than almost anyone on the planet. It's good to know that somebody knows more about how people think, because people don't even know how they think. They don't even at least somebody's thinking.
Somebody knows, right?
Somebody knows, right? Because the people who are supposed to know what they're thinking don't even know what the hell they're thinking. So somebody knows, and I'm so happy to hear that, Dave. Welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you, Corinne. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah. Now we're talking about the habits that impact people's success, the things that we are doing because of the habits that we have. Some of us don't even recognize we're in a habit, Dave. So, because we're so accustomed doing it, they don't see it as a habit. It has become a natural part of them that if they were to do anything different, is like no, resistance, fear, I can't, it wouldn't work, all the negative things that coming in, talk themselves out of it kind of thing. So first off, let's sort of define what a habit is for those of us who may not know what a habit is, and for those non-thinking individuals. What a habit is, how we develop a habit, how can we recognize it's a habit in order for us to know that this is something that is impacting us positively or negatively or not at all. A number of questions coming at you, but you're a bright guy, so you have all that
Ah,
information. You have all that information, and then we're going to go into why you decided to do this. I mean, of all the things you could be doing, what is wrong with you, Dave? Why you decided to do this? And then and then what is the impact it has been having in people's lives? I hope I remember all these questions I'm asking you, because you want to do something that really can, as you say, success, and success is measured in different ways. So we want to be able to know that this proprietary system that you have discovered, that you have created, whatever it may be, can be leveraged, can be used to really shift persons, create that mind shift, and
mhm.
recognize from where they are now to where they would want to be. And this is such a perfect time for us to be discussing this, because we're in the last quarter. of the year. Believe it or freaking not, we just started 2018, Dave. How in heaven's name we got here? My goodness. And we're in the last quarter. And as business people, entrepreneurs, or people who want to go into business, now is the time people start scrambling, looking for that thing, because we really don't want to say at the end of the year, we're at the same place that we started again, and we want to go into 2019 with something new. So now is a great time to break habits. You have the last 3 months to break those habits and now to discover and be aware and conscious of who you are, what you're doing that is negatively impacting you or obstructing or getting in the way of your success. A lot of things I'm saying, Dave, but I know you're capturing it. If not, I'm willing to go it over. So there you go. I'm handing it over to you. So let's start with what is a habit and go straight into it.
At my age, it's a good thing I took notes so I can remember. So.
Very good. Take notes. Back to old school, Dave. Always back to old school.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go into habits, because that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
We have in our brain neural pathways. They're like deep, like the Grand Canyon. We've just engraved them into our brain because of our habitual patterns.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge has always been, how can we identify them?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why 18 years ago, I went looking for science. I found it in axiological science, and we've spent $2 million in 18 years perfecting this science out of the University of Tennessee that allows us to measure with laser accuracy how somebody thinks. What are their habits of thinking? And the word kept coming to me when I was writing down these comments that you were going to have us review, is the word metacognition. It's kind of a big word.
Yeah.
But it's a unique gift given to human beings, and a gift that far too many human beings don't accept. Metacognition,
mm-hmm.
It means to be able to step back,
mm-hmm.
become aware of, and reflect on our own thinking. Because we're the only living creatures on this planet with this gift. Human beings, horses, love dogs. They can't do it.
Yeah.
We can step back as human beings and reflect on that thinking and go, I don't like that. I'm going to change that.
Hold on there, Dave. I love that scientific term, because I call it observing. It's called observing yourself. In yoga terms and in the spiritual world, we call it stepping back and observing, recognizing, for example, say you say something to me and I recognize this is making me angry. I am getting angry. Why am I getting angry? Start to talk to myself, observe the feelings that I'm getting before reacting. That shoot from the hip kind of Western style, which is what most people do. So that you can respond appropriately as opposed to react and sort of have some sort of control over what you may say or do in that particular moment. Some people.
You just described beautifully.
Yeah, some people may say, count to 10 or count to 20. Some people may count to 100 before they react. Or they might say, you know what, I'm going to get back to you. Let me sleep on it, to kind of mull it over. Different approaches, but you really want to step back and observe. So I like that, metacognition. And like you said, animals don't have it. And as you talk about animals, I just love animals, Dave, because they just go about their business. Nothing bothers them. Nothing bothers them. They're not going to hold a grudge. They're not going to say, you stepped on my foot and I am going to hold you up for that. You ate my daughter. She was running along free and you ate my daughter, right? To take home to feed your family. I am going to get you for that, and I'm going to gang up and come with my herd to get your family. No, they just mosey along. It's just part of life. They do their thing. So they don't have the time. Well, I guess, as you said, they don't have that ability to step back. There's nothing to step back about, because they don't, they don't. And I'm wondering, I'm saying to myself, we are supposed to be higher on the totem pole, on the ladder of this whole, animal kingdom thing. But the animals have it right. They seem to have it. They seem to have it better than us.
Survival, perhaps.
Yes.
But I love your word observer. I wrote the book, The Observer's Chair, because to be practicing metacognition is to be the observer.
Mm.
And to sit in the observer's chair, which when we're here, we're conscious, we're awake, we're alert, we're making wise decisions. I love what you said, to respond versus react.
Mm.
Augmenting, right behind me, if you'll see it, there's a picture of Og Mandino's scroll number 1, found in the Greatest Salesman in the World.
It's
Yeah,
framed.
you really can't see it very well,
Yeah.
but it opens up with, "Today I begin a new life." Well, one of the statements in that scroll says, I'm the observer,
Mm-hmm.
I have surrendered my free will,
Yes.
my free will, to those years of accumulated habits.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like pointing somewhere else, and I call it the other chair. We get out of this chair, we walk over and sit in that chair.
Mm-hmm.
We allow those habits to wrap a chain around us,
Mm-hmm.
and put duct tape over our mouth. They've imprisoned us. And Og says, I have surrendered my free will to these years of accumulated habits, and the past deeds of my life
Mm-hmm.
have already threatened to imprison my future.
Wow.
This is so critical, because we really are driven. The mood we have when we wake up in the morning, how we feel, the actions we take, the results we create, everything is driven by these habits of thinking.
Yeah.
Are they healthy?
Hell,
Are they supporting us and staying in the observer's chair?
hell
Or
no.
are they imprisoned?
Yeah, and the key is right next to us. You know, there's an image, I think there was a book or something, I can't remember what it was right now, where this man was imprisoned, and the key, actually the door was open, or the key was right there, but he was just imprisoned in his own mind. He had his own freedom. He could step out, he could unlock the door, but he just was so paralyzed by the fear and the thoughts that's rolling around, the monkey chatter that's keeping you where you are. Now, you mentioned awareness and consciousness. Now, Dave, we know a lot of people are walking dead. They don't know what's going on. They are just on this hamster wheel. They're just doing the things. This is what they're born into. They see their parents do it, which is where the habits are coming from. Because where else would we learn it? We are born into this world, physical form. We don't know any better. So we are depending on the persons that we are born to, our parents, to guide us. Now, they don't know any better. So, of course, we are thrown into this situation of being dependent on them for the major part of our initial life, which forms our personality, who we can become, all of these things. Until later down in our years, in our 40s and 50s, we realize, what the crap? Who the hell am I? I'm confused. What is going on? Why am I not getting where I'm supposed to go? I'm a bright person. I've achieved this. I've attained, let's call it success at school, degrees upon degrees. Let's say they might have a good job. Or, I mean, even if you don't have any of that, you know within yourself you have it. But you're just not getting where you need to go. You're not in that place. You've seen friends who are, let's say, for want of a better phrase, you know, you are better at that particular thing than them. You can't. There's no, they're not brighter than you. They're not, you know, they don't have anything on you. Why it is? So these habits, I mean, I want persons listening to this not to feel bad. That is like if they put the habits on themselves. Yeah. It's not a blaming or a shaming or a guilt shifting. It's really to accept. And you use a word, surrender. That is something that I am working on. I've reached, you know, I mean, a significant part in my journey, and surrendering is not an easy thing to do, because it means letting go of control, releasing everything. And a lot of people feel they have control over everything. What are your thoughts on that, Dave? And this is why probably their habits are so ingrained, because they will keep doing these habits as a form of control.
I would call on anyone who's listening to this to just pause for a moment and examine, no matter what's gone on in the past, as Og Mandino said in scroll number 4 about our value being priceless. He says we're nature's greatest miracle. So there's a flame that burns inside of me, passed down from generations uncounted, and its heat is a constant irritation to my soul to be better than I am. I will fan these flames of dissatisfaction and proclaim my uniqueness to the world. I would ask those listening, have you ever felt that flame? You may have family members who want to put wet blankets on it, but if you've ever felt this, here's the call. And Corinne, would you join me in this?
Of course.
We are in a time where great souls are awakening to their greatness, regardless of their past or where they've been. I have a name for them. I call them chain breakers.
Yeah.
Chain breakers. They're saying, I no longer want to be chained up by those unhealthy habits of thinking, no matter where they came from.
Yeah.
I want to embrace my natural goodness, my natural genius, my natural clarity.
Yeah.
Because those are just habits.
Yeah.
This is me. I'm the one that's going to sit in the observer's chair. This is a tough call because many of us had very challenging childhoods. I was in the care and keeping of a pedophile aged 3 through 5. Wasn't a good way to start life.
Whoa.
That created some interesting challenges. But the day came when I said, I don't want this.
Yeah.
I want to break out of this. And I recognize this concept of being a chain breaker. And a chain breaker has a double responsibility. One, they have to deal with their own crap. And then they have to show up and impact the lives of others. This is a parent who's going, wow, maybe my childhood wasn't great, but my children will have a different life. If they're a little bit older, it's never too late. I'm going to help them learn how to become a chain breaker. And in 2 generations, we'll make an entire shift in our family. Our family name will have a different outcome 2, 3, 4 generations from now than it's had in the last 3 or 4. So if you've ever had that flame, just say, wow, I'm a chain breaker.
Yeah.
I'm a chain breaker. I'm going to break this chain. And it starts with becoming aware of the habits of thinking that have been attempting to sabotage you so that you, the listener, you watching this, you can make a different choice.
Yeah.
That's your right as a human being to do that.
But it requires persons to be still. If you're busy, Dave, you're not going to hear that inner voice screaming, tapping on the door, raising up that emotional flame within you. As I said, irritated sort of a flame. You feel this thing coming up all in your sleep. You toss, you turn. You're seeing messages coming to you on the TV and the radio, friends. Things are coming at you to give you the message. So you have to be still. And like you said, an awareness and a consciousness to be able to recognize and just stop, sit back and just observe, listen. If you're so busy, you're not going to pick up on it. You're not going to be aware. You're not going to realize. Yeah.
And it's complicated, Corinne, in our measurements of those 100,000 people that have taken the habit finder. Those who want more have a tendency to live in their mind, barely tolerate the present, and as a result beat themselves up. It's this grown man who said to me, and he was crying, Dave, I can almost touch it. I can almost taste it.
Yeah.
Why can't I have it? What's wrong with me? Does God not love me? And you said right up front that if you don't want what you have, and instead of taking your clay, your circumstances, and saying, I'm going to create the most I can with this, and I'm going to go into my mind to get an inspired idea that will ignite my passion, and I'll create and celebrate. If I'm holding my clay, but I'm looking everywhere else, wanting something I don't have, there is no good in this universe, no power for good anywhere. I happen to believe in God, but I'm just going to say any power in the universe that'll give you more of something you don't want. So you say, well, but you don't know my clay. And I go, I don't need to know your clay. It's your clay.
No, it's yours.
It's your clay.
It's yours.
Take this.
I don't need to know your clay. Yeah.
No, and the tragedy is you've been looking at everything that's wrong with your clay. If you own your clay, you'll start to see your natural gifting.
Yeah, it's yours. Hold it, keep it, love it. You talk about having something here and looking over there. That took me back to Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. And I started to laugh. I'm reading his book, and every time I read it, it's more of a comedic book more than anything else because I'm laughing. Sometimes I'm laughing out loud because that is it taught. The way how he writes it is exactly how you would think. And he says, the torture, we torment ourselves as human beings. You're here now, but your mind, you're here, but you're looking over there. You you want to be over there while you're here. How the hell can you be over there while you're here? I mean, what? Be here now. Focus on where you are now, right? When
Yep.
when you get to that point and it becomes no, because it's always no, you know, it's always no. Next year at the same time, you will be saying no. So why are you worried about something that you have no control? You don't even know what's going to happen. Your mind is already there. You want something over there. Stop it. Focus on what you have now, where you are now. We torment ourselves. Woo.
Don't you love that? 10 minutes from now, it's still now. If we pause for 3 seconds, it's still now.
It's still
We
not.
waited 10 years, it's still now. It's the only time we get to touch the timeline of our life now. And we can
Yeah.
touch it again now.
Now.
And I love what Eckhart's saying in his book that, you can be in a foxhole with bullets flying over your head,
Yeah.
but right now in the now, you're okay.
You
You're in
okay?
the foxhole. Why are we worried about the bullets? The only time you worry about the bullets is when you get out of the foxhole, right?
Yeah, that was a mind shift for me because when I first listened to him, I think he had done an interview with Oprah and he was explaining it to her, and she too was shocked. He said there's no past or no future. All there is now. There's no past or future. So when we spend our time, when the mind, the habit spend its time keeping you in the past, because it does that very well. The ego does that very well. Let me tell you, it's good. It's good. And it will keep you in the past. You're like, oh my God, and it tortures you, make you feel. You have to really take a stand. I don't think people realize, Dave, that they're made up of different dimensions, and the ego really will do anything to survive, to keep itself within you. That people don't realize that they're made up of an ego. Now, when I have conversations with people, I don't see them as Dave or Sharon or Jane. I just see them as ego because clearly the words that are coming out of their mouth cannot be anything else but their ego, just based on the conversation. And so I am now able to look at them and respond appropriately because of the conversation that they're having with me. It's amazing when you really move into that kind of level, that sort of shift in thinking. And I'm really hoping that persons can learn more about your habits, learn more about their habits, that scientific data, so that they can become more aware. That's the first thing, become aware, because without the awareness, they can't change anything. Yeah.
That's true. I love when Og says in Scroll 5, I'll live this day as if it's my last. He
Yes,
said,
yes,
I'll
that's how
not
I live.
let one drop spill upon the sand. I'll not spend one moment mourning yesterday's aches of the heart, yesterday's defeats. For why should I throw good today after bad? And I'm not going to spend one moment torturing myself over things that may never come to pass. I'm going to stay present in the now. I'm going to live this day as if it is my last, because at midnight tonight, it is dead. The day's gone. We never get it back.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? And as soon as it's gone, the next day starts, and we do the same thing over and over again, wasting a day, hoping that somehow something's going to change.
Yeah.
May I share something with you we discovered in the assessments? People that want to create have a risk because they've got very vivid visualization.
Yeah.
There is a purpose to go into the mind. If we've got our clay and we're looking at what we have and we want to create more, that's when we go into our mind. We go into our mind to find a creative idea, an inspired idea, an intuitive impression We know that if we have someone wired to a functional MRI and they get that idea, that it ignites part of their brain that's normally dormant in a human being, ignites passion. And then the work that's required is passion driven instead of being boring and mundane and burdensome and repetitive and hard. So if you're living in your mind and you're facing the work, it's awful. If you're living in the now and you're getting an inspired idea, it's exciting to do.
Yes.
But the greatest risk for an entrepreneurial soul, someone who's independent in their thinking, is they use this gift that gives them ideas to instead fantasize. So they go into the future to a time when things are all perfect. And then they start imagining what it will be like after. That's deadly visualization, because with their mind, it's created what's called a new mental construct. It's a new reality. It's so real to the mind that the sympathetic nervous system releases norepinephrine, which is like cocaine. I mean, it's euphoric. Wow, this just feels so good to be there. But the instant that life shows up differently, the body goes into what's called an autonomic response. It's something we can't stop. We do the fantasy, this happens. That same sympathetic nervous system releases cortisol because it wants to protect us. It speeds up our metabolism. It heals wounds. It's because the body thinks we're being attacked. There's no bear attacking us. It's reality showing up. It just doesn't reflect what we fantasize. So the body's sending this cortisol. And then our amygdala, our fight or flight center in the limbic brain, start shutting down our prefrontal cortex, which is our empathy, our practical judgment, our common sense. And we're rendered emotionally paralyzed. So what do? We go back and fantasize. We have far too many people escaping and avoiding life, trying to go to a time when it's going to be great. I said recently, and I'll repeat it to you, if you're on Mars and you said, I want fresh tomatoes, they would say, well, we don't grow fresh tomatoes on Mars. They said, well, I want fresh tomatoes. Well, you got to go to a planet where they grow fresh tomatoes.
Yeah.
The analogy is this: on this earth, this one, we don't grow ease unless stress. It doesn't grow here. But we keep wanting it. I just want life to be easier and less stressful. And I go, good luck. Wrong planet.
Wrong planet.
Wrong planet.
Yeah.
Here, there's no ease and less stress. There's just take your clay and create the most you can with it, or be part of the Walking Dead. Those are your options.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Walking Dead, you're just empty.
Yeah.
And it's awful. It's miserable.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave this planet having lived that way.
Yeah.
So let's embrace our clay. Let's take our habits and find out which ones are not supporting us, and let's get rid of them.
Yeah.
Let's take the ones that are and let's maximize them. Let's go into our minds specifically for inspired ideas, intuitive impressions, creative solutions. Let's ignite our passion and create passion-driven. What happens, Corina, you know this, you talked about attraction. When we are in creation, using our gifting, serving people, people are attracted to us.
Yes.
And it speeds up creation.
Yes.
It's never sped up by going into our mind and fantasizing. All that does is create anxiety and frustration and overwhelm and discouragement and self-sabotaging dialogue where we question our worth and our worthiness and our ability and our contribution. We just beat ourselves up. Nothing good comes out of fantasy, but everything good comes out of owning our clay and focusing on creating the most we can with it. And then celebrating at the end of every day. Look what we got done today.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That feels good. Just talking about that feels good. Just talking about that. But in your study, I want to come back to what you discovered from your study with the habits. If you could share about two, or even one that really stood out for you, in the habit, somebody that went through that process, that testing phase, and what they found out about themselves that was sabotaging their own success.
I think one of the most alarming discoveries that independent thinking people have two gifts in common. One, they've got high levels of empathy and intuition, pretty accurate assessment of a person.
Mhm.
And two, they've got a lot of natural genius to know what to do and how to do it.
Mhm.
Problem, they're spending too much time fantasizing. They
Mm.
hate their life because it's not showing up that way, and they're beating themselves up. And all that noise
Mm.
either precludes them from hearing that intuition about the person, or it talks them out of it.
Yeah.
In terms of their natural genius, it causes them to procrastinate.
Oh, geez. I
Let
could
me
relate
ask
to that. No, I could relate
you,
to that.
yeah, let's ask the audience this question. Do you ever procrastinate? Well, we all do.
Yeah.
Question, what do you say every time you finally jump in and get the task done?
Yeah.
And now it's finished.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear people say, wow, that didn't take so long. Wow, that wasn't so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Because you shut off all that noise,
Mm-hmm.
embraced your natural genius,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so incredible. Even you were surprised. Delay, delay, jump in, surprise. Delay, delay, jump in. I talked to a group of corporate executives yesterday, and we were talking about this very topic. And I said, how long have you been playing delay, delay, jump in, surprise? One
Delay,
guy said,
delay, jump in,
my
surprise.
whole life, my whole life. And I said, go watch Bob Newhart. He has a video called Stop It. It's a skit he did once on his show. Stop it, I said. I pounded the table. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Just jump in, embrace your genius.
Yeah.
It's so healthy to your self-esteem to find out what you're really capable of, and not what that crappy dialogue's been saying to you about what you're capable of.
Yeah.
When you shut it off,
That's the ego. That's the ego, Dave.
that's the ego.
That's the ego
Free
talking
yourself.
damn well out of the thing that you know is good for you for it to survive. Oh hell. I I recently had a guest on my show. I would put that under the category of integrity. He spoke about integrity. He says one of the tips in terms of success. And you know, a lot of us don't consider it. I'll give you an example of what we were talking about. So he said that's one of the main values that really keeps you back from success. So you don't have integrity. So for example, he said for himself, he wants to lose some weight. And he has been saying that to himself for the past 3 weeks. You know, every Monday, just 3 Mondays gone now. And he's been saying that. What is holding him back? He's finding an excuse. Oh, I don't have the time. I have meetings, I whatever. It's always some excuse. But then when he really sits down and of course observe in the observer chair, he says, but I could get up an hour earlier. I can do this. I can shift this. You know what can happen. You know, but you're avoiding it. And I'm saying it is coming from a place of maybe fear, because everything comes from a place of fear when you really boil it down, because people think fear of as something frightens you, you know, that physical thing, something frightens you and you jolt. But it's really coming from a place deep down of fear. You're not willing to face that thing. Why you don't want to lose the weight? Why you don't want to take this particular action in your business? Are you afraid that if you get slimmer, people might not like you? Are you afraid that you may actually make more money, which is what you really want and deserve? Are you afraid of seeing those figures? Are you afraid that you can't handle the money when you see? Are you afraid that you can actually be a success? Because I know I deal with that. I know I want to be successful, and I know I deal with that. It's a fear, and I have to tell myself, come on, you know, this can happen. This is possible. I have it within me. There's nothing stopping me. So you really have to talk with yourself. You know, and people say talk with yourself. So there's like Eckhart Tolle says, wait, what do you mean talk to myself? I'm a me and I'm a different person. You know, if there's a talk to myself, then there's somebody else in there. You really have to talk to yourself. You're made up of different dimensions, different parts of you. You really have to talk to yourself. And it's really that conversation with the ego who is trying to, you know, I think the ego, I wouldn't say it's totally innocent, but it's doing what it has to do to protect you. And I don't know if you can have that conversation with the ego to say, this is not as bad as you think, ego. It's to really help me, and this would benefit you too. You would look good. I don't know if you could have that conversation with the ego to be able to work together and partner with your ego so that you're going in the same direction. Is that possible?
It absolutely is. We know the brain's neuroplasticity has neuroplasticity. It can change. Here's
Hmm.
the great challenge, I believe, Corrine. Sometimes we so relate to those unhealthy habits of thinking that we're going to call an unhealthy ego
Hmm.
that it's the dominant voice in your head.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to figure out who's the real person. Is
Yes.
it the ego speaking?
Yeah.
If that's the dominant voice, it's like, gosh, that's a monster I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And you start to nurture this observer, as you say, the I am,
Hmm.
great words. I am the observer. I am the observer. I am that I am. And
Yes.
wow, my goodness, that's just all of a sudden we start to recognize that's just a habit of thinking. And then we can start to have that kind of a conversation.
Yeah.
Uh, I actually think one more piece from a spiritual perspective, I believe there's a power greater than us.
There is.
When we shift the dialogue from I am talking to my unhealthy habits to I am talking to that
Yeah.
power,
Yeah.
then we start to see them even more clearly.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
start getting inspired ideas, intuitive impressions, creative solutions from that power.
Hmm.
And we start to see the light versus the darkness of that ego that's trying to destroy, even it's trying to protect us.
Yeah.
It's, Og Mandino said something interesting in Scroll 9. I'll act now. He said, my dreams are worthless. My plans are dust. My goals are impossible. All are of no value unless they're followed by action. And then he said this. He said, my procrastination, which has held me back, is born of fear.
Hmm.
I thought about that when you said it. Instead, I've recognized this mind from the depths of all courageous hearts. Now, coeur in French, is heart or blood. So it's the heart of the heart. It's the deepest part of the being. And what did he learn? To remove the flutters in my heart, I must act without hesitation. For now I know that only action reduces the lion of terror to the ant of equanimity, peace of mind, that
Yeah.
quietness you talked about.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to do a shameless plug. That's the name of my latest book, Equanimity, Conquering Mount Entrepreneur. It's the peace of mind we get when we finally shut off the noise,
Yeah.
embrace our genius, take on the task, complete it, and feel a sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great feeling. And too
Yes.
many people are robbing themselves of that sequence
Yeah.
because that noise has become the dominant voice in their life, and
Yeah.
they're actually believing it. They're believing that's true. It's not true, but they
Yeah.
believe it.
It's all about their perception, what they see outside, what their eyes see, but it's not real. It's not real. What you see, like I tell my children, I say, not everything you see is real. It's what the mind has created and projecting, just like a movie. It's what your mind is projecting out there. Not everything you see is real. And if you live in, like I say to people, I live in this world, but I'm not of this world. I have to exist. This is my form. This is the physical form I've been given. And so this I have no choice. This is the body that I'm in. But I am not of this world. So I don't have to think in that way as everybody else does. And I'll tell you something, as a result of that, Dave, I come across people who resist and resent me because of my way of thinking and my perspective on things. And I wouldn't say that I was bothered a lot before. I really wasn't, but now more so than then, I am clearly not bothered about what they think or how they feel about me, because I know where I am. And I'm on a journey that they are not. They're not even close to yet, and I can recognize that. And I'm like, wow, you're not there yet. You're not an aware being. You're not conscious. You don't realize. And so I have to take time when interacting with people. And as a matter of fact, sometimes I isolate myself because I realize that it may cause discomfort for some people, when they interact with me, my energy, the things that I say, my vibration, the aura that I give off, it may be different for some people that they just can't handle. And, you have to be good with yourself. You have to really accept yourself to be able to be at that point, or else I would just fall into the rut, like we were saying, of just being a walking dead, just like peer pressure. You want to belong. I don't need to belong. I have no need to belong. I don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. I don't have to agree with you. I I don't have to do crap. I do what I want. I do what I want and what brings peace of mind to me. Like you say, this is my clay. My clay. It's not yours. I'm not asking your opinion on my clay. I don't want any of your clay. This is my clay. And I form it and do as I will with this clay. In this moment, which is every moment in the now. I'm not lending you my clay. I'm not sharing my clay with you. This is my clay, and I'm quite comfortable with my clay. And so the habits that we all have, we have to, yes, accept, but as we say, recognize the ones that are really obstructing us from moving forward. And I want persons to be encouraged to be an observer. It requires you to be still. I've looked at people, even in my household here. I look at people and I say, my God, can't you be quiet for a few minutes? They are just surrounded by noise, Dave. The TV is going, the radio is going, the conversation, even the conversation is all about politics and who's dead and who killed who. And I'm like, my God, don't you have anything else better to talk about? Even when they're going to sleep, the TV is on. And I'm like, wow, there's no silence in your life. It tells me so clearly they cannot even deal with themselves. There's no other reasoning there. They cannot deal with themselves because to sit still, they're going to hear that voice. They're going to hear it. And they cannot deal with it.
Well, I think you'll agree with me at this point. I didn't get here quickly. Mm-hmm. And there was a power in the universe, God, who is pretty patient.
Oh, yeah.
And I smiled and I said, sometimes the most intolerant person is the born-again Christian. Mm-hmm. And I happen to be a Christian, so I can make fun of it. You take 42 years to turn your life over to the Lord, but you want everybody else to do it in a week, right? The challenge is that when you feel what it's like to be awake, mm-hmm. What I'm hearing you say is you wish everybody else was awake. It would be so joyful. So we get to practice what's called agape love, a heightened level of awareness where we see them where they are.
Yeah.
We love everybody without judgment.
Yeah.
And we just try to create the safest place for someone to want to walk into the light of awareness.
Yeah.
To examine their thought processes, to become the observer of their life. Because when we're the observer of our life and we begin to feel wholeness, mm-hmm. What I love about that the most is then we can become totally available to be in service.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to be about us. We're okay. I love what you said. I don't want anybody else's clay. I'll take my clay. I love my clay. There's some things about it that sometimes irritate me. Oh, yeah, but those are the ones we're working on, right? So we're just working on our clay, because the better our clay gets, the more available we can be to help somebody else work on their clay.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing here today, right? The purpose for this interview is for those who are listening to this and going, wow, is it time for me to finally do this? Or I've been dabbling in it, but oh my goodness, I've been an escape and avoid fantasy. No wonder it hasn't been working.
Yeah.
Wow, maybe if I took my clay and I owned it,
Yeah.
I could finally begin this journey of becoming more whole and complete.
Yeah.
Dr. Hartman, who did the math for our assessment, he said the objective is to be. To
Yeah.
be, I love that. That's that stillness you talk about. To be real, which means we have relationships, genuine, root word genus, we embrace our genius and bring it fully to the service of others, and to be authentic, anthosectic, our true self, the observer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without the need, this is the ego, to
To judge.
impress, pretend, feel
Yeah.
ashamed, or fear, without that need. And
Yeah.
then he went on to say, this is the most difficult task in our mortal existence.
Yeah.
It sure was for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he punctuated with this, and the highest level of maturity. Wow, how cool is that? So anybody who's listening who wants to be mature, well, then the objective is to be, just be still for a moment and discover how to be real and genuine and authentic. No need to impress or pretend or feel ashamed or fear.
Yeah.
And that's the highest level of maturity. How cool is that?
I don't even
But
want
it
to
works
be
for
mature.
everybody.
I don't even want to be mature, Dave. Really. I find that so I don't even want to be mature, honestly. And I'm sure a lot of people think, oh, Corinne grew up. Why? Why? When I ask them that, they don't have an answer. Why should I grow up? Why? I'm good. I, I'm enjoying life. I'm joyful. I'm blissful. Why? And it just tells me that the fact that they see that joy in me, which is really what they want in themselves, they're not getting it. And so there's a sort of, jealousy, anger that builds up. They want that. They want that. And they just find, oh, I must grow up. To whose standards? Yours? I must match your claim? Hell no. So
I think the point is that what you're describing is the definition of maturity.
Oh, is it?
You and I, oh yeah, you and I have been thinking for years, it's when you get old and wise and all that kind of stuff. No,
There's a way to behave.
it's when you're real and genuine and authentic without the need to impress, pretend, feel ashamed or fear. That's the highest level of maturity. It has nothing to do with
I'm
age.
mature. I'm mature.
You're
Okay,
mature.
good. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm good with that. I'm good.
Yeah, I just want to share that with you because that is maturity. To be
Okay.
okay with yourself and to
Yeah.
be able to connect with another person and to bring your genius like you have today, your genius, and you bring it to the service of people who are listening, who are in need. You're
Yeah.
being your true self.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody else's clay. This is who I am. If you don't like me, I'm okay with that. I don't need to be
okay
loved
with
by everybody. I'm authentic. That's the highest level of maturity.
I'm okay with that. I don't need you to like me. I'm good. I'm good. There are so many other people that like me. You think I'm going to take on you, one person? Really? Oh, and I have like hundreds of thousands over here? No, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, people just need to be real, but you see, they don't even know their real selves. Dave, they don't. They're
Touche.
afraid. They're afraid
Touche.
of going deep.
That's the problem. You can't be real, genuine, authentic if you don't know who you are, if you're not sitting in the observer's chair, if you're not working aggressively on overcoming unhealthy habits of thinking so you can be more available and in the service of others.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on this road. This is a really cool road to be on.
Dave, what is your website? What is your website? Let me bring it up and showcase it and get on your books here.
I'm going to give you a new one. It's a temporary holding place because the Habit Finder is the latest version of the assessment. It's habitfinder.com. Habitfinder.com. And what's really cool, Corinne, is we send people there and you can go take a Habit Finder assessment right now, the whole thing for free.
What do you
we don't say, well, we're not going to give you the full results till you pay money. There's no money involved. You take it, you get all 44 pages. You really get a thorough understanding of what's going on. There it is, Habit Finder. Just click on it and take it. And what's even more fun is that after you take it, you're going to get a letter from one of our Habit Finder specialists. They are not salespeople. These are from our customer relations division.
Right.
And they're going to make themselves available to you if you'd like to meet with them. to help you better understand how all the measurements relate.
I am
Because we give you definitions for everything, but we're really complex. This one impacts that one, this impacts that one, and everybody's different.
I am definitely going to do this. And there's a little video here that persons can watch the show. Let me just show this 1 second.
Hey there, I'm Paul Blanchard, president of the official Augmentino company.
I guess he's related to you, right?
Habit Finder technology. Now, first of all, congratulations on being willing to.
Let's stop it, and we'll have people click and watch it when they go there.
Yes, I guess he's related to you. Why does he have your name?
This is Paul. This is my son.
Oh, he's handsome.
Paul is a 6'5", 305-pound, 38-inch waist monster of a giant man.
Oh my God, you can hear it from his voice.
Oh, he's incredible. Jack Welch, who's the iconic CEO from GE, made that a multi-billion-dollar company, called him one day and said, I want you in Herndon, Virginia tomorrow. I want to interview you to run the administration for my new MBA program, executive MBA program. You're on a short list. So we went out there, and Jack said, okay, now I can tell you, you're the only one on the list. So he interviewed Paul. He moved his family out to Herndon, Virginia. We're in Utah. And oh my goodness, he had 3.5 years working side by side with Jack and driving that executive MBA program.
Nice.
And then I called him and I said, son, it's time for you to come home and be the president of our company. And his only question was, will I be working for you or will I be working with you? And I said, with me, son, with me. I need your wisdom. I need your experience. I need your ability to come out here because I'm the founder. I'm still writing books.
Yeah.
Greatest salesman in the world, by the way, Corinne's being made into a movie, and the producers asked me to write the feature film script. So I'm writing that.
Nice.
I need a president. Please come. So
where is that? Where is that? Let me showcase that quickly on the website. Where can I see that?
I'm writing the script right now. We have funding for the movie, which is very exciting.
Hold on. Where's my role in the movie? Where's my role in the movie, Dave? I don't understand.
Let's stay in touch. I'll write you into the script. Here we go. Right?
I need a major part. I mean, here's my ego speaking now. I need a major part.
There you go. But I brought Paul back, and that's why his face is on the Habit Finder, because he is the one who's in charge of that customer relations team that will serve you and help you better understand the Habit Finder. Would we love to work with people? Oh, yeah. Is there a fee when we do? No question. We want people to have such a rich experience that they know that, one, we can actually get to the real issues. And that, two, we care about assisting you in changing them. If you don't have that experience, you don't need. If the customer service person is working with you, and you say, what do I do next? Well, what would you like to do? Well, I'd like to work with somebody. Then they'll put you in touch with Paul and his other team that can help get you some help.
Very good.
We are totally focused on giving you an incredible service experience so you can see where we go, because this is the only assessment on the planet that is based on mathematics and goes below the surface of personality and behavior and actually measures the habits of thinking that are driving the behavior, that are driving the personality, and are they actually serving you? Now we can know. I like
how you have this measure, master, multiply. There's no right or wrong habits, and like that's what we were saying earlier. I mean, we're not into guilting, blaming or anything or shaming, but there are habits that support your goals and habits that are sabotaging you. So what you're trying to do here is help people to become more aware and more conscious of what it is that's really getting in your way, because you're not aware, you don't know, and you're seeking, you're looking in different ways, you're trying different things, courses, masterminds, coaches, all these different things, spending money. If this can help you, I mean, then take it.
Yeah. Then you know where to work. Then you know where to focus your time, your energy, your resources on the very issues that'll make the greatest shift in your life.
I am definitely going to do this. I mean, we have spent a little over an hour, I think, or about an hour on this show.
Oh my God. We have.
We have. I know the time just goes. But listen to me, Dave. I'm definitely going to do this. I'm going to send this recording to you, obviously, after, to Lori. So, not Lori, Nikki, sorry. So she's going to be able to get it, and I know she manages you, so she's going to take over everything.
Oh, she'll love to have it because this interview has been so fun, Corinne.
I know. We didn't even realize.
We're gonna want to post this on the Og Mandino Facebook page. There's 75,000 people on that page.
Nice.
It'll be so fun for them to see it. Yeah.
I know, and we could probably have a follow-up to see what's going on. And what I would love is when I do it, we can come back on at another time, and I can share what my results were. Of course, that will make me vulnerable, but I don't care. It's my clay. So I'm going to...
And they're just habits, right? They're just habits.
They're just habits. That doesn't identify me. It doesn't define me. Yeah. So, I'm still me. So, hey, I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to do it and get back in touch with Mickey. And I encourage persons listening and those who will be listening to do it. It's free of cost. You have nothing to lose. The only thing you would lose is probably a chip on your ego being a bit bruised, by the things that you may find that you can't deal with, but hey, get over it, okay? And accept your clay. Thank you so much, Dave, for being on Between the Lines.
My pleasure, Corinne. Thank you so much. This has been delightful.
It has been. Is there any final words you want to say to the listening audience?
I just love Og's first words in the very first scroll in The Greatest Salesman. He said, "Today I begin a new life. Today I shed my old skin, which hath too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I'm born anew, and my birthplace is a vineyard where there's fruit for all." If you're listening to this, make that decision. Today I begin a new life. Let's start over. Let's figure this out.
We're starting over. And it's good to be blessed that we're above ground to be able to start over. Once you have breath, you can always start over. Thank you so much, Dave.
Blessings.